Good afternoon, guys. This is Dave coming to you from Southern Maryland. It's about 1 p.m. on Friday afternoon. It's a beautiful day. It's like 60 degrees outside, light breeze, nice and sunny. But I thought I'd better do Freedom Friday inside. I decided I'd start you off with a little eye candy. So this is a 1965 Shelby Cobra. It is not an original. Those things are about $2 million a pop now, and I'm done spending that kind of money on cars. This is a kit car. It's a Superformance. If you look it up, Superformance is really the kit car of choice. So this thing is as real as it gets. It's got a big block V8 in it at 427. I think the engine weighs more than the car. Anyway, this is a great summer car. When the weather's nice and warm, we'll take it out. It takes forever to get it running on its own. It takes forever to get it warmed up to operating temperature, but once it's running, it's fantastic. All right, guys, so we're doing, I couldn't help it after I saw Greg, so I'm doing Flannel Freedom Friday. Anyway, I just thought it was kind of cool. I actually had a flannel shirt in Maryland. I thought I'd taken them all out to Wyoming, but I had one. So anyway, now you're looking at the side pipes on the Cobra. Anybody's owned one or been friends owned one has the leg burn to go along with that thing. They run down both sides of the car. They are hot, hot, hot. And pretty much when you get out, you're going to burn your leg if you're wearing shorts. And everybody does it once. My GAW package from Greg is in, and I've done a video of that, and it's appended out at the end of this one. But there's just a little heads up. Thank you, Greg. So as always, the Maryland Meerschaum, and what's in it? Boswell's Christmas cookie. I think I said it in yesterday's video. I'm going to try and smoke a Christmas blend pretty much every day for the next couple of weeks. So I've only got 3 or 4. So it'll boil down to those 3 or 4 for now. I was glad to know Santa's sack I wasn't the only one to giggle at that. There were several of you that made comments that made you laugh. We all got an 8-year-old in us. It's just good to know that we can say it now and then. So I think maybe not everyone in the YTPC is comfortable with Freedom Fridays and the content we put up on there. So the offensometer is probably already a little bit high. My Freedom Friday hat is my Bergara. I actually have a Bergara rifle out in Wyoming. It was the last one I bought before I rolled out back here, so I've not shown it. But we'll get it out when we'll do Freedom Fridays when I go back to the Wyoming house, and the Bergara will be one of them. So I thought we'd talk for a minute about gun ownership and gun rights today. Since we're already kind of up on the offensometer, let's just kind of continue it and stay there today. And usually what I see on the internet is people, whether they support it or support gun rights or don't support gun rights, it usually devolves to kind of emotional, almost yelling, even into their own camera. They get upset, whether it's the, people like, I don't understand why a person needs an AR-15, or the other side is, you don't have any right to trample on my gun rights. You don't get to tell me whether, it's just, I see most of what I watch online seems to go down that road, and I don't want to go down those roads. I'd like to be a little more respectful to the topic. I'm going to state my beliefs, my reading of the Second Amendment, my thoughts. Don't have to be yours. I don't expect to change anybody's mind. I was just hoping to put out kind of a level-headed 5-10 minute conversation on gun rights. And I don't know if the YTPC is the right place to do it, but this is where I put everything. So here it comes. I don't think the Second Amendment, when it was created, had anything to do with hunting, or why does a hunter need an AR-15? I guess I want to push pause on that for a minute, and I want to talk about AR. The most of the time in public, AR has been turned into assault rifle. And so when we talk about AR-15s or AR-10s, it's always assault rifle. And really, the definition of assault rifle is a fully automatic weapon of war. And that is not what we're talking about when we talk about our AR-15s, or even what you see. You're going to see my AR-10 here in a few minutes at the end of this. I append them. I've already done the video. It's already in the can. And I filmed it right over there. And it'll be on the end of this. But so it's an Armalite rifle. And Armalite is a family name. Now, he ended up selling pretty much all of his rights to Colt. And Colt went and patented quite a few of them. So they kind of became Colt's weapons until the patents expired. I guess we could talk about whether we feel the definition of fully automatic should even play into this conversation, but I'm going to leave it aside for now and just kind of point out that these really aren't assault rifles. Even by legal definition, they're really not. So go back to it now. Let me go back. I don't believe the Second Amendment had anything to do with hunting rights. I think it had everything to do with the average American citizen when they band together to give their government pause. And I think it's working. When I look at the rights that we as Americans still have versus what I see happening in Australia and New Zealand, in England, and others, but those are the three I'll use, I think it's working. I think those countries gave up their guns and they are in a much different position with their liberties than we are. And I think if we were to give up ours, we would go right down that way. And that's why I believe we should continue to fight, speak for, and be supportive of gun ownership. I also don't feel like you have to own a gun. I think one of the arguments I don't like is when I hear people say, just because they don't feel like they should own a gun, that I shouldn't either. And I have a problem with that. And I would just like to point out, hopefully calmly and without getting people too upset, that those of us who own guns and those of us who are willing to stand up to tyranny put out a wall of protection, not just for gun owners, but the wall of protection we provide is really for everybody, even those who oppose ownership of guns. So even those who are vocal and really try to take away our gun rights really do live under a peace and a set of liberties that might not be possible if their position became prevalent and ended up winning the day. And I don't hear that part of the argument made very often, that your right to speak out for or against guns is protected by private citizens' ownership of weaponry. Because I do believe we are giving our current government pause for doing anything too crazy. because they realize there's an awful big standing army out here in the world that, if mobilized, could become a real problem. I'm in no way trying to do insurrection here or say that we should form a standing army of private citizens and go take down our government. I am not saying that at all. I'm simply saying the sheer capability of the private citizens in the United States to do such a thing is a healthy and good thing, and something that should be maintained today and tomorrow, and in my opinion, into perpetuity. I don't think it's a right that should be. I don't believe what is called out in our Bill of Rights should have to be, recertified every year. It should not be put under public. Um, it should not be tried in the court of public opinion on an annual basis to make sure those liberties should still be granted to our citizenship, and not just the Second Amendment. That's the one that catches the most flack. But the freedom to assemble, the freedom to speak, the freedom from unreasonable search and seizure. I think these are critical rights, and we shouldn't. If we take one out, what's gonna stop people from saying, "Well, we took out the Second Amendment, maybe the first should go away"? Because I do believe they're under assault. I just would prefer they not be taken away completely. I think we'll wrap up the Second Amendment conversation. I don't want to bury the entire video into the single subject of gun rights. I just think it is in fact a right. It is in fact to prevent tyranny from completely taking over our government, or from our government to ride roughshod over our citizens. It is there specifically to give our government, today's and that in the future, I don't care what party's in charge of it, pause when they think we may do something that could cause an uprising amongst the people, and they have the ability to back up that uprising. So, I mean, and I heard the argument. We talked about this a few weeks ago about, an AR10 is not going to do anything when an F-22 is coming down on you. And that's exactly right. I get that. I'm not a complete fool. I just think it's a healthy thing for the government of the United States to know several 100 million people own weapons, multiple weapons, capable weapons, and like we talked about, 3-4 trillion rounds of ammunition. I think those are good facts for politicians to know when they debate whether rights should still be granted to the citizenry of the United States or not. Again, I'll say it has nothing to do with hunting. And all the other countries we have seen go the other way with gun ownership are now fighting for basic human rights that have many times been already taken away. The other thing about those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. One of the first things Hitler did in Germany was outlaw all private citizen ownership of weaponry. There's a reason dictators do that. Very hard to have a dictatorial government when the population is armed, and a majority of the population is armed. And this is the last thing I want to reiterate is, even if someone is not supportive of gun ownership, they live under the benefit of a society where private ownership is rampant. And I just don't hear that said enough. I don't even hear that said at all. Just the ability to protest, whatever subject that you want to protest, is partially there because there's a private armed citizenry. That's it. I'm done. All right, guys, moving on. The next thing I want to show is Greg Tunnel Take. I always do that. His giveaway, I was one of the winners, which was pretty cool, by the way. The package arrived yesterday. I got it all opened up and made sure everything got filled and worked. And I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and I'm going to show you what I got from Greg, and I just want to say thank you, Greg. It was a pretty cool thing to get. Thank you.
Hey guys, I just want to take a minute and acknowledge that Greg's tunnel take there, his GAW package, his giveaway package actually arrived, and I just want to show it off to you because I think it's pretty amazing. So the first thing is this really cool copper tray. I mean, it's thick, it's heavy. It's got this knocker, this pipe knocker. It's cork, it's soft. It's pretty awesome. So anyway, I just wanted to show it to you. It feels good. It's thick. It's substantial. It doesn't bend. It doesn't flex. It's totally cool. All right. The next thing is this cigar lighter, torch, single flame. Actually, I got it. I filled it. I filled it with my Zippo can. It's nice, single. The two I showed you the other day were triples. This is much better for touching up, or although it's not recommended, you can get down in your pipe and get down in the bowling light if you need to, although you're not really supposed to light your pipe with a torch, but that's nice. So Greg, that's really cool. It works great. Let's see, the third thing we got was a pipe stand. And this thing works great. I'm done with the other ones I have. Look how easy this is. It just sits in there, and it's totally unbreakable. It's like a fan belt or something. I don't even know what this is made out of, but it's a industrialized product, whatever it is. And you just set it there. Totally awesome. That has become, as of yesterday, that became my pipe stand. So thanks for that, Greg. So the third one is this super cool phone holder. So, I guess I could screw it into a tree. I could screw it into a fence post. Maybe even the wall if I know where I want it to go. But it's great. It's totally flexible. You turn this one thing, it kind of goes any way you want. You turn this thing and it tips, and then this is the bad boy, holds it on. Pretty awesome though, pretty cool. So there's 4, and then the last thing is this really cool, honest pipe lighter. Never seen it before. It's pretty sweet. Chrome, polished, looks amazing. I also got it lit. I also got it filled. Same thing. Used my Zippo can. Got it filled up. Works great. Nice and big flame, just like I like. This guy was showing you the other day. It gets down in the pipe, and that nice soft flame, you can just pull it right down in. It's awesome. It's got some really cool tools built in. So it's got 3. So your tamper, your small pick, and it's not really a reamer. I just think it's to clean out the bowl, but that's really cool. So again, it's awesome. I just want to say thanks, Greg. So there they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items in the GAW. Greg, they arrived. Everything works perfectly, and I just wanted to say thank you.
All right, guys, we've come to the Freedom Friday portion of today's video, and what I've got to show you today is an actual AR-10. This is an Israeli weapons industry, or IWI, or UE, Galil AR-10. And AR-10 stands for Armalite Rifle version 10. This was created about, this legacy goes back to about 1959, and it competed for the competition for the Army's rifle. Actually, this lost and went to the AR-14. So anyway, this has been picked up after all the patents expired, and it's manufactured by a number of companies, but the IWI Galil is one of the best known ones. This thing is this is your AR-15 on steroids. So I'm going to go through it with you real quick. It's got a ambidextrous mag drop. It's got an ambidextrous safe fire on this side. Can't even flip it. Safe fire on this side. Bolt retriever. There's now racked fire. Clearly it's empty. Don't even have a mag in it anymore. I have got an EOTech red dot. I'm going to turn it on and see if I can get it to show up for you. I should turn it on. Yeah, here it comes. So I'm going to see if I can put it right down the camera for you. Yeah, there you go. I think you can see it. So that's the red dot. I have the circle, what do they call it? The circle of death with the red dot in the middle. I find that a pretty effective. Helps you not only find your target, but helps size it, range it. Anyway, that's my favorite. So the EOTech runs basically right here. It's got two AA batteries. It's pretty standard, brighter, dimmer, and I can just turn this thing off pretty quick actually. Yeah, now it's off. So the butt is totally adjustable. It's got like 9 settings. It's gonna be hard to do this on the. I'm gonna see if I can do it. It has a folding stock, but boy, is it hard to do without setting it down. So let me see if I can just do it. So I finally got it. So it's pretty storable. It's fairly short. It's not a short barrel, but it's fairly short, and it's completely fireable from this position if I need it to be. Obviously, I store it like this. I usually fire it pretty far out like this. Pretty long arms. I just have a standard sling on it, nothing fancy. It's got a go bag like all mine, so I have 10 of these mags loaded and ready to go in the go bag. And I think that's really all I got to show you. Iron sights are still on it, but they are not usable with the EOTech on it. But I've left them on it because it's basically one easy screw, and this comes right off the rails. You can see the rails run the entire length. It's easy to pull that off, and then you're back to iron sights. So I just felt I always try to leave them on if I can. It's a backup system for me. So one other thing I want to show you, I want to give you, as I've done before. So I've shown you this before. So this is your 223. This is your standard 223 round. And I'm going to show you the 7.62 by 39 round. This is your AK-47 round. That might be a hint to a future weapon, right? Anyway, so there's your 223 and your AK-47 round, or your 7.62 by 39. Look at the difference in those two bullets to the actual bullets, not the casings, but these bullets themselves. The AK-47 round is much larger, carries a lot more mass with it. And then, I don't know how to do this right with the camera. And then this is the AR10 round. So this is a 7.62 by 51. So 223, 5.56, 7.62 by 39, 7.62 by 51. AR-15, AK-47, AR-10. So those are the three. So that's kind of how they stack up. So clearly not as insane as the BMG 50, but it's still a pretty large round and carries a much larger punch. and much more penetration capabilities than your AR-15. So guys, I think that's it. Standard issue AR-10. I won't rack it, but we are ready to go. Good Freedom Friday. We're going to have a little Second Amendment conversation, but probably before this. You've probably heard it by the time I get to this. That's it. Talk to you guys later. Bye, you guys.